Welcome to Same Spit, Different Face TV. Well, my opinions is facts, and if you don't like my opinions, you can start your own podcast. And it's free, so don't forget to spit on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. Check out No Time to Play Fair 2 official movie on the end screen. If your favorite Chicago rapper turned his mixtape into a movie, it will be No Time to Play Fair 2, The Power. Now, Spit Squad, Tory Lanez Bodyguard, he finally shows up, and it's to try to help Tory Lanez get an appeal. Now, before I read the actual document, I want to let y'all know what I think. Now, I think that this is kind of late because what people will basically be saying, well, if you were holding this information and you could have spoke to this information, why you didn't come and do it in the first trial? Why you didn't come and do it in the first case? So what they're going to think is, hey, either Tory paid you to leave or Tory paying you to come now. It just looks bad all the way around. But we're going to start off with number 4. He says, I have firsthand knowledge of the facts in question that took place on July 12, 2020. That is the basis of the above cited proceedings. 5. I was the driver and bodyguard of Mr. Daystar Peterson, who is better known as Tory Lanez. In July of 2020, Mr. Peterson has been known to me for 7 years. At the time of the incident, I had worked for Mr. Peterson for 3 years. He has not only been my employer, but I also consider him a close personal friend. 6. On July 12, 2020, I was asked to drive Mr. Peterson to the home of Kylie Jenner, where Megan Pete and Kelsey Harris was present. Mr. Peterson was at Miss Jenner's home for approximately 2 hours when I received a call to come pick up Miss Pete and Miss Harris. 7. Miss Pete, Miss Harris, and myself left Miss Jenner home, but I was asked by Miss Pete to return because she said she had forgotten a shoe. 8. When we arrived at Miss Jenner's home at the time, Miss Harris stayed in the car while Miss Pete exited. Miss Pete did not enter the home at this time as she went around the back to the pool area where Mr. Peterson was located. 9. Both Miss Pete and Mr. Peterson returned to the car after a few minutes. Miss Pete was bickering, but I am unsure of the exact words she was saying. She seemed upset. The 4 of us left Miss Jenner's residence. 10. As I began to drive, Miss Pete started to fight with Mr. Peterson. They were going back and forth. I remember Mr. Peterson saying to Miss Pete that he was going to tell Miss Harris what was going on. 11. I do not remember what street we were on, but Miss Pete asked to stop the vehicle. I did as she asked, and Miss Pete went to sit on a nearby bus stop. Mr. Peterson went and spoke with Miss Pete. After about 2 minutes, they returned to the car and began driving again. 12. Miss Pete started the argument again, and Miss Harris asked what was going on. Mr. Peterson told her he and Miss Pete had been dating and intimate. Miss Harris was upset by this, and she and Mr. Peterson had been dating in the same manner. Prior to any relationship with Miss Pete and Miss Harris began fighting. 13. I pulled over to stop. Miss Pete and Miss Harris both got out the vehicle and continued to fight, both verbally and physically. I broke up this fight and was pulling Miss Pete toward the back of the car. 14. I saw Miss Harris with the gun in her hand. Mr. Peterson ran from behind Miss Pete and myself towards Miss Harris. Mr. Peterson and Miss Harris began struggling, for Miss Peterson tried to unarm Miss Harris. I was still pulling Miss Pete and did not see who shot the weapon. Luckily, I was not harmed, and in my opinion, Miss Pete was also fortunate. The whole incident happened so quickly within just a couple of minutes. 15. I wanted to present this evidence during Mr. Peterson's trial, but was prevented from doing so as the district attorney was not ready to cross-examine me. And later, they did not call me due to the holidays and the court schedule. I believe I should have been allowed to present this evidence in trial. Okay, so I get where he's coming from with this. And if that's true, that's basically the DA withholding evidence and information. So that's a grounds for appeal for sure. Click the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. Peace.